Hi, and welcome back to Purple Color Life. In today's video, of your request, we're going to do a series about our SeaDoo. Some people call these a jet ski, some people call them a PWC, personal watercraft. Today's video is about, okay, you've made it to the marina, you're getting ready to get the jet ski off the trailer. What's the process? Now, I'm no expert, but here's the process I've used, having owned 3 jet skis now, and it's always worked okay for us. One of the first things you want to do is disconnect your electrical to the trailer. You don't want to leave those lights plugged in when you're backing into the water. So on our truck, we've got both the 7-prong and the 4-prong connection. I'm just going to put this right here. The back of the jet ski should be connected at both sides to these rings on the back of the jet ski, so we want to remove those. And we're doing this all up here at the well before the ramp, so you don't want to be taking up dock time getting your watercraft ready to get in the water. That's for a jet ski, a pontoon boat, any type of boat at all. You want to have most of your work done before you get down there. This jet ski has these nice holders that hold the straps, and it's just a single flip that allows you to take the strap off each side. Same thing on this side. Velcro strap, single flip, and then I store these in the bed of the truck. I'm going to go ahead and get your life jackets out. Now, Jennifer's going to be driving. Now, before we left for the day, this is our first time out, but you always want to do this every single time out, is check the oil level. I've already done that. On this PWC, you need to remove the back seat and then the middle seat, and that gives you access to the engine compartment. And easy right here is the dipstick. You can check your oil level. Put the seat back on. Another thing you want to do before you ever get down to the water is make sure you're going to start. So we'll go ahead and put the key on the ignition. You'll hear it beep. It's going to beep 3 times, 4 times, which means it's ready to start. We're going to hit the start button and only let it run for about 2 seconds, just to make sure it's going to start up and run before we get to the water. Okay, now we know it'll start when it gets to the water. We'll take the key back off. This is going to be attached to Jennifer when she backs this off of the trailer. For now, we'll just keep it in here till we get to the water. Set her life jacket over the seat here. This is just a little tip because the seat in the sun gets extremely hot. This will hopefully keep it from being too hot to sit on when she gets down to the water. The front of the jet ski, we're still leaving nice and tight attached to the trailer. Some people make the mistake of disconnecting this now. They start backing down the ramp and the jet ski or the boat will slide off the trailer before they're in the water. We want to keep this connected so that we're securely attached to the trailer at the front of the boat.
You're pretty crooked.
We got the whole dock to ourselves. So we've got 4 ramps here all to ourselves, so I took advantage and straddled the line here. We've got lots of space. But what I like to do is I like to back the jet ski in, and it's really hard to see in the mirrors behind a big truck like this because it's so much narrower than the truck. But I can see it in my backup camera. What I like to do is back it in so that the fenders are underwater, get the boards of the trailer wet, the bunks, get them wet, so that the jet ski slides off a little easier. So I'm going to back in so that the fenders have gone under the water. Jennifer will tell me what's that.
You want the fenders under? They're under.
And I'm going to pull back out a little bit. I'm not stepping in the water when I disconnect the boat. Looks like I need to pull out a little further.
Seems a little ridiculous if you ask me.
What's that?
Nothing.
What did you do?
Nothing.
So now that we've gone down the ramp and we're ready to unload the boat, now is when I can loosen this strap that's holding the bow of the boat. So I'm going to turn it a little bit like I'm tightening it, and that allows me to lift this lever up, and that's what will release the tension on the front. We want to uncrank until we get to the point where we can disconnect this clevis hook on the front of the boat. And then what I like to do is just drape it over top and push this back down so it'll hold it in place. Now the jet ski is no longer attached to the trailer, so if we were in the water too far, it could literally just float out. So now is when Jennifer's going to be able to hop on to the jet ski. We'll go over some basic instructions on how to back the jet ski off of the trailer. And remember, I'm calling it jet ski, but this is a SeaDoo GTX. Jet ski is a name brand, just like SeaDoo is a name brand. I believe in most states, but definitely in Pennsylvania, a couple rules that we have. You have to be wearing a life jacket on a PWC, and you have to be a licensed operator. So you can't just hop on one of these and drive them around unless you've taken the Safe Boaters course and obtained the license to drive a PWC. So Jennifer has in the glove compartment her license, and as well as the registration for the boat and the trailer. The key has to be attached, the lanyard has to be attached somehow to your life jacket. So she's just going to wrap it around. We do have other life jackets that have D-rings. That makes it much easier and less of a chance of breaking that cord.
And we usually, in fact, you probably should before you pull out, put my cell phone in here.
Yes. Just a note about the storage compartments. This compartment that she just put her cell phone in is not a waterproof compartment. So if she would tip this over, that cell phone would get wet. The front is a waterproof compartment, so if you need to put something that stays dry, you can choose this compartment for that.
But we have had situations where somebody out on the water has needed help, and it's been important to have our cell phone.
Yes. Okay, so every jet ski operates a little bit differently. These ones, the forward and reverse, is this handle. So when Jennifer starts the jet ski up, she's going to want it to be in reverse. On some jet skis, that's going to be a hand throttle up here that makes it go reverse. So read the instruction manual that came with your machine. But as soon as she puts the key on, it's going to do that beeping sequence. We'll watch the gauge cluster power up. It tells us the gas level, tells us how many hours, the speed, RPMs. Those might be hard to see in the sunshine on camera. But so now Jennifer's ready to go. She's in reverse so that when she hits the start button, it would start backing off. But she's not in deep enough water, so she's got to wait for me to back her in a little bit further. Okay, so Jennifer should be loose enough now. You can see how the jet ski is just kind of floating. She's going to start it in reverse. Give it a little throttle with your right hand thumb. I might need to push you off a little bit. Now you remember how to throttle between forward and reverse to make yourself go slow. Watch for obstacles. Wait for me to be over there before you come in. Now she's just going to throttle in and out of neutral and forward to go slow in this no wake area. We're going to pull out with the truck and the trailer, and then we'll meet her over at shore where she's going to come in and we'll moor the jet ski. We're taking the truck back over, but I thought of one very important step I forgot to mention before you unload. So when you're up here in the parking lot, before you even back down the ramp, you want to make sure that the two plugs are in at the back of the jet ski so that you're not taking on water. You loosen those plugs up when you take the jet ski out of the water so that any water that's down in the hull drains out. But when you're putting the jet ski back in water, You want to make sure those plugs are securely in so that you're not taking on water in the hull of the boat. When you don't have the jet ski on, the trailer is even harder to see behind a big truck. You can see it back there behind my low mirror. But you'll see how when we're going in a straight line, it just disappears. I'll show you here on this stretch of road. Okay, so here we are, straight stretch of road. Can't see it at all in that mirror. Can't see it at all in that mirror. Can't see it at all in that mirror. And that's why backing up the empty trailer with no jet ski on it is very difficult behind a big wide truck like this. So Jennifer's just feathering in and out of the throttle, and she shut it off because we're guiding in here. Ooh, it's very cold water. You always want to make sure you shut the machine off so that it's not coming into the shore here, pulling up all the rocks. It'll pull up from underneath the jet ski, equidistant to what it's shooting the jet out the back. So it can pull from pretty deep water. A lot of people run their jet skis in too shallow of water. It hurts the impeller and the wear ring. We're very careful not to do that. How was it?
Good, ran good.